Buddha. OB, you made it hit, nigga.
When they come to me, I'm a bad man, the baddest. I get pull out 6 figures, then I'm multiplying dividends on average. Deposit, then I obtain that availability on my back, got hella cash. Direct in, when the vibe playing in, they can't counteract my repetition, getting phenomenal. Got a lot of spectators with their spectacle and eyeglass, percentage on the vision. D-I-P-P-I-N-G, found him mouth, he's a puss ass. Run him like he's in the marathon, hesitant, not him scraping over that pavement. Also, we gave him these hands with his face like lamb meat. Barrier, Carter's puss ass, point of fofo, he gonna fold this, and that's 223, hit it raptured. Decimation everywhere in his membrane. He falling asleep in that deep sleep from this sleep powder. When they come to me, I'm a bad man, the baddest. I get pull out 6 figures, then I'm multiplying dividends on average. Deposit, I'm not taking that availability on my back, got hella cash. Body maneuvering, monitoring. Ooh, she got so much ass, and so much ass. Her savage, Wonder Woman with Cheetah, supersonic. Also, she bag on baggage, while both hands on the floor. She starts to twirl, break it up like she on the world. Because Greek, her legs opens pink, get in her sheets. Dick got her hot, acting L-I-C-K up, got her twerking on her trunk. 1515, hella shake like an earthquake. Her paradise with them hips. When she bend over, she dips. When they come,
what you don't want to do, and this is what they don't want to tell you. You don't go somewhere and marry in an environment which a bunch of other dudes get to fornicate with the same woman you don't get to fornicate with, but you get to marry. That's when you know you don't want to marry, because you're actually being insulted by being chosen for marriage. When a chaste woman chooses you for marriage, that's a compliment. When an unchaste woman chooses you for marriage, that's an insult, even if they don't think it is. And as a matter of fact, they know that it is. They know it's an insult, saying that when you accept that stepdad role before you have your own, she looks at you as a genetic inferior. And so you can't come back from that. You can't convince her of anything else at that point. That's it. You're genetic inferior. End of. She can't see you any other way.
If you want to escape the matrix, break the rope first. If you skip this video, you will probably end up like this elephant I'm going to talk about. There was an elephant tied with a tiny rope around his ankle walking in a circle. Even though the elephant can weigh up to 6,000 kilograms, it could easily break the rope and escape. The secret is in the elephant's belief when the elephant was young. He was tied up with the same rope and he tried to escape, but was unsuccessful. Now, even though he could easily escape, he won't, because he tried very hard when he was young, and now, he believes it's impossible. I hope you get the story and the meaning of it. You are the elephant tied to beliefs that your parents and the system have put in your mind. You are living in the circle of someone's beliefs, and you need to break through that. This was Mr. Benedict speaking. As you call it, the matrix is a circle, the rope is your beliefs.
Welcome to our video, Unveiling the Mysteries, Tantra versus Neotantra Explained. Today, we will be diving into the world of Tantra and Neotantra, shedding light on the differences between these two ancient practices. Tantra, originating in ancient India, is a spiritual practice that embraces sexuality as a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. It combines sexual energy, meditation, and devotion to achieve a higher state of consciousness. On the other hand, Neotantra, also known as Western Tantra, emerged in the modern age. It focuses more on personal growth, intimacy, and sensuality, often incorporating elements from various spiritual traditions. In Tantra, sexual energy is seen as a powerful force that can be harnessed and directed towards spiritual awakening. It involves deep connection and presence, utilizing rituals, breathwork, and meditation to expand consciousness and foster intimacy. In contrast, Neotantra places greater emphasis on personal pleasure, sensual experiences, and emotional healing. It seeks to create a sacred space for individuals to explore their desires, enhance intimacy, and develop a heightened awareness of their own and their partner's bodies. While Tantra has roots in ancient traditions and sacred texts, Neotantra has been heavily influenced by modern philosophies, psychology, and therapeutic practices. Both Tantra and Neotantra share common goals such as self-discovery, personal growth, and deepening connections. However, the approaches and methods they employ differ due to their unique contexts and cultural adaptations. Some critics argue that Neotantra has diluted the essence of traditional Tantra, focusing more on pleasure and individual desires than on its original spiritual and transformative purpose. In conclusion, while Tantra and Neotantra differ in their origins and approaches, they both offer valuable tools for personal growth, intimacy, and spiritual exploration. Whether you resonate with the ancient wisdom of Tantra or the modern adaptations of Neotantra, these practices can guide you on a path of self-discovery and connection. Thank you for watching our video on Unveiling the Mysteries, Tantra versus Neotantra Explained. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos.
Yeah, I feel like I join the choir. Shit, I should go to church. Amen. Praise the Lord. Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord. I think I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, it was wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, man, this chicken got real wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. What you know about losing your best friend, or losing your best man, losing your blood brother from a senses, wishing you can free him again. All the real niggas put y'all hands in the air for the real niggas y'all can lost. All the real niggas chuck y'all gang in the air for all the bitch niggas y'all been taught. Man, this shit got real crazy, feel like we losing niggas on the daily. All I had tears in my eyes, anger said somebody need to die. I was trying to get some get back, they killed my homie of a bitch, nigga. I be down, won't get my get back. Let's crack a look at me wrong, that boy about to get his shit pushed back. I think I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, it was wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, man, this chicken got real wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir.
All right. Welcome to the Too Much Moxie podcast. I am your humble host, Too Much, and we're back at it again with part two to Tantra versus Neotantra. Got to talk about it, man. We got to go, the other show, I think the first show, part one, was kind of long, but it was more like a teaching, I won't say teaching like a class, but it was long and a lot of information. This one, I kind of want to hone in on some more of the bullet points, man. I kind of want to hit it home. I don't know what's going on with our brother Walt D again, but he might be making another presence or not. I don't know, yeah, we're gonna. The show must go on. The show must go on. So we're gonna rock it, man. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do what do. So on the topic again, of Tantra, we're back at it. We're back at this thing. So let's get back to it. The purpose of the title today is Unveiling Tantra and Neotantra, a deep dive into the ancient wisdom and modern interpretation, right? The first part, we were kind of over here, over there, had some technical difficulties, but I want to kind of hone in on a little bit of this. I want to do a deeper dive into these spiritual practices, the origins and the differences and the similarities. So let's start by revisiting Tantra, right? This ancient Indian spiritual tradition that dates back thousands of years and encompasses a wide range of practices, including meditation rituals, yoga, mantra recitations. Tantra sees spirituality and sexual intercourse as aspects of human existence, right? Aiming to expand consciousness, achieving enlightenment, and attaining a state of oneness with the divine. I don't have a problem with that. You should meditate. You should have some type of practice where you are focusing, right? Blocking out all the outside and just kind of getting into yourself. There should be rituals. I'm okay with the meditation. I'm okay with the yoga. I'm even okay with the mantra recitation, because it's good to kind of reprogram your brain, affirmations, right? You want to kind of affirm what you're doing and affirm what you want your day to look like. You kind of want to tell yourself and the universe, this is what I want my day to look like and be, right? You kind of want to say, I am powerful, I am unique, I'm different, I'm special, right? I work hard, I make things happen, I execute, saying things, things like that along those lines, right? Those are what we call affirmations, and maybe you can chant them and make them more in a mantra form, but that's kind of where we're at. So Tantra, in and of itself, I think is good, fundamentally. The Tantra. But Neo-Tantra, on the other hand, is a modern reinterpretation of these practices that emerged in a Western world in the 20th century. It places a greater emphasis on sexuality and sensual experiences, focusing on pleasure and personal growth. Neo-Tantra incorporates elements from various spiritual traditions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, and aims to promote healing and personal empowerment and spiritual growth through sexual exploration. That's Tantra, you guys. That's Neo-Tantra. That's what Neo-Tantra is. That's what Neo-Tantra is all about. It's kind of this, they want to embrace God in everything. They want to embrace God in this sexual nature. And, it's kind of, like I said, in essence of it, I don't see, in, how do I say this? Tantra is a good thing, right? But you gotta be careful of the Western world grabbing a hold of something Eastern and changing it into something that it's not. So how would I liken Neo-Tantra to Tantra, right? Because, anybody can take something good and turn it bad, pervert it, right? Anybody can do that, It's not, I would kind of say, would you feed a baby candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just because it tastes good, right? Just because it keeps the child quiet, right? It keeps the child busy, right? But if you keep feeding the child candy how is that going to, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, how is that going to benefit the child long term? It's kind of like overdoing it. You can feed, you really shouldn't feed candy at all, right? But everything in moderation, small bites, small amounts. Here, there, spread it out a little bit. But the focus on Neotantra is just hyper focusing on the sexual orgasmic power, right? Kind of focusing on that sexual orgasmic power and making that everything. And what I wanna prevent is the downfall. We're already in this hookup culture, right? We're already in this kind of sexual liberation and debauchery, right? We're already in this era where it's body positivity, my body, my right. We're already in this feminist empowering movement. And now we're adding Neotantra on that, and we're saying, we're just going to sex it out. We're just going to have orgasms, and that's going to heal everything. And this orgasmic power is everything, and you can harness this orgasmic spirit, and you're going to focus it on, trauma, and we're going to fix trauma through sex, through orgasms, through semen retention rituals, right? Which there's nothing wrong with semen retention, but what's the intent behind the semen retention? What's the intent? I got to always question, what is the intent? Because the intent of the Eastern philosophy is different from the intent of the Western philosophy. Hence the word neo. So we're going to stop there. Just take a quick little break. If you just enter in the room, just go ahead and hit the like button for me, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. Share the broadcast. Let people know what we're talking about, man. We're talking about something important. I want you guys to understand, this tantra. This, there's always these new ageism that's coming out, and you got to be prepared for them. You got to understand why they're coming out and the timing of why these things are coming out. There's an agenda, and some people are blindly fueling the agenda because it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck. And some people are blindly fueling the agenda because they're just caught up in a movement, What you want to be careful of is these cults that start up around these religions. Neotantra is definitely, I won't call it a cult, but it's on, maybe I called it a cult in the last one, right, in part one. But I'll just say you have to understand that it's acceptable to becoming a hedonistic sex cult because of what they focus on, the sexologist of it. You know what I mean? So give me a second here, man. I'm going to play a few videos, and then we are going to be back. So bear with me.
Tantra. As soon as I say Tantra, everyone's eyes light up and you think of tantric sex, which is essentially Neo-Tantra. And the reason you think that is because Americans are stupid. That's why you think that. Because we come from a very puritanical culture, and Tantra is essentially pantheism. Pan is everything, theism is God. So pantheism is finding God in everything. And Tantra is finding God in everything. That's it. Unfortunately, for the past 50 years in America, since we've lived in this repressive culture, we've equated it with tantric sex, and there's been certain people who go on the radio and they say, oh, I can have an erection for 24 hours and blah, 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 and we don't ejaculate and all this stuff. That's Neo-Tantra. But if you want to know what Tantra is, it's finding God in everything, and that includes sexual union and making it more like a meditation than like a contact sport.
All right. So back on the thing with Tantra, right? Despite their differences, right? Tantra and Neo-Tantra, right? They share some similarities, right? Both view sexuality as a powerful force that can be harnessed for personal and spiritual growth. But practice emphasizes the importance of mindfulness, right? Presence and conscious and awareness and sexual experience, right? Both of them trying to emphasize those things, right? And both Tantra and Neo-Tantra aim to foster intimacy, connection harmony between partners. All good. All good. However, it's important to be aware of the potential pitfalls of Neo-Tantra. Again, I got to hone in on that. While it offers a unique approach to exploring one's sexuality and expanding sexual pleasures, it can be misunderstood or misused as a means of self-gratification without considering the deeper spiritual aspects. Okay? A lot of times people are just going to get an orgasm. There's no spirituality in it. There's no teaching. There's no discipline, right? It's a crucial approach, Neo-Tantra, with discernment and ensure the practice aligns with personal values and boundaries. It's crucial. It's crucial that you approach Neo-Tantra or even Tantra with discernment and ensure that how they're practicing and what they're practicing aligns with your personal values and boundaries. Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you Buddhist, Hindu, Taoism? Right? What's your religion? What's your culture? Does it align with some of your cultural ideologies? Depends on what culture you're from. See, America's culture is very open, right? Everything is good. Everything is interesting. Everything is exciting. Everything is new. Everything is fresh, right? We take the old and we remix it, right? We put a remix on Tantra. Remixed it. Now we got all these people making money off of a religion. Think about that. Tantra is a religion. And now you have people honing in on the highest form of gratification, which is sex, right? The highest form of pleasure, orgasms right now, right? And they're perverting it for their own selfish gain. Feeding into the debauchery going on in American society today. You know, we have a modern women problem. We have women who are out longer, waiting longer to get married when it used to be that women would get married earlier, right? So women are walking around without their cover, waiting on a Boaz, waiting on a soulmate, which kind of ties into this Neo-Tantra a little bit, kind of feeds into that, right? My body, my positive, my body, my right, body positivity, no shaming, which kind of feeds into this Neo-Tantra. You know, you're susceptible. You're susceptible to Neo-Tantra. You're susceptible. It's acceptable to what's going on because of the culture that we're in. It's acceptable to it. It is what it is. So let me go over some of the challenges here. Right. The overemphasis, you know, some of the challenges is with Neo-Tantra that I have and some of the pitfalls that you should watch out for is some of the overemphasis on sexuality. Right? Just everything, you know, you go in there and they play some music or these, you know, I don't know. I'm okay with the massages. I'm okay with the massages. I'm okay with the touch and the foreplay and things like I'm okay with that. But those things are private, or it should be done in a class setting, right? To where, you know, things are, you know, certain things are done, certain things are respected, or it should be done in a privacy of someone's home. The teacher is teaching the couple intimate. You know, let me tell you something. I agree that we should have a sex class. There's some good, let me tell you some Tantra is not, let me tell you something, Tantra is not a bad thing. It's just how you use it or how it's being used or how the Western world gets a hold of something and perverses it, right? So that would be like you take Christianity, right? And you just focus on healing. And you forget about sin. You forget about the need to repair your heart and turn back to God and forget about following, Christ, but you just focus just on the healing aspect. There's nothing wrong with healing. You should be healed. Everybody should, be healed. But what good is being healed so you can go back to be sick again? It's better that you take on the spiritual principles and the disciplines, that those things that will help you and carry you in the times of darkness, right? And the times of waiting to receive your healing. But if you're just focusing on the healing aspect, it's just like a slot machine at the casino. We know why everybody's there for. Everybody's trying to hit the jackpot. Nobody's there because of the heart. They're there just to get, just for one thing. And that's not what it's about. That's not what Tantra is about. Now, I'm open, man. Come talk to me. Let's have an open conversation dialogue, because I want to show you the pitfalls. I want to share with you that, hey, man, you might be traveling down the wrong path. Those who are thinking about getting involved in this Neo-Tantra, this sex, if you're watching it, you've seen it on a lot on IG, or a lot on Instagram. Instagram is, this stuff is prime for stuff on Instagram. You know that? Because Instagram is nothing more than like a porn site. It's gone above soft porn even. You're just looking at naked women with body paint on at this point. They're just painting clothes on them and they're walking around, right? So this type of stuff is susceptible to platforms like Instagram. Even platforms like YouTube. I haven't seen a lot of it on YouTube, at least the style that I'm talking about. I see more of the regular Tantra on YouTube, but I'm sure the Neo-Tantra will come, but it's different. It's hard, we still have platforms out there that kind of, they don't want that on their platform, but Instagram is one of those platforms where they accept it, man. And I'm seeing it rise. I'm seeing this stuff happen. And it's just been in my spirit, man. I just don't, I've been doing research on it. I thought it was interesting and cool, but now I see, is it really good for our culture right now? Excuse me, you guys. Pain. I think we need to really look at this and examine this Neo-Tantra and this Tantra and know the differences, right? Really understand the differences. So the overemphasis on sexuality, right? But the misrepresentation and misuse. Neo-Tantra can be misunderstood or misused as a means of self-gratification without considering deeper spiritual aspects. This can lead to debauchery and hedonistic behavior that are not in line with the original intent of Tantra, and that's like talking about. It's all about the intent. Why are you practicing Tantra? Just so you can have an orgasm? Just so you can masturbate in a crowd? What's the intention? Is it not to reach spiritual enlightenment, or is it to have this, to be the sex god or sex goddess? And a lot of this, Neo-Tantra stuff, man, it leads to simping. A lot of simping. And you know how I am. I don't like simps. A lot of this false masculinity and men thinking that, they're alphas when they're not really alphas. Let me just say that. You think you're a divine masculine, but are you? Are you just feeding into whole behavior? Hedonism. Are you in an open relationship and it's, what's the intent, brother? My thing is, I'm for polygamy to a certain extent, but what's the intent? What's the intent? Is it to build the family, Or is it just for hedonistic, debauchery, sexual liberation stuff? Are you truly at peace? Are you truly at peace? Are you? You say you are. Are you truly at peace? Did you find true enlightenment, or are you just sexual god or goddess, right? Or what's the intent? Let me play another video for you guys, man. We're gonna get back into it. Play a couple more videos for you guys, and then we're just, we're gonna get back into on this topic, man. We'll see if our brother Walt D pops up. I wanted to kind of have a more of a dialogue with the brother, man, and kind of have a back and forth. I try my best to get somebody from the Tantra community on here. I'm always sending out, the person I'm talking about, let them know that I'm doing the show, but doesn't want to come to the show. He's doing alpha male stuff. Big guy. Let me hit you with this right here. Hit you with a quick video. A couple videos actually.
So in Neotantra, sex is for everyone. In traditional Tantra, the act of sex as a type of meditation was reserved for only the highest level of practitioners.
It's only the highest level. See, sex, let me tell you something. There's a reason why we don't put sexuality and sex on children, because of the misuse and the not understanding and waiting for the body to develop and waiting for the mind to develop and to have a full understanding of what you really have in front of you and what you're really working with. Putting a lot of this stuff that I see on the Instagram and, a lot of these platforms, kids are watching and kids are interpreting these things. And how are we going to safeguard and teach our children with wisdom what information they are hearing? We're dealing with the school systems where, kids are going to school and learning things that are not necessarily in alignment with the parents. Not necessarily in alignment. So the misuse and the misrepresentation, it's different. It's difficult to not see the downfalls of that. Let's talk about the exploitation and the abuse of it, right? In some cases, neo-natural communities or workshops may unintentionally create an environment conducive to exploitation or abuse, right? This can occur when individuals use the guise of spiritual practice to justify inappropriate or harmful behavior. What's appropriate? What's appropriate? I'm trying to give you an orgasm. Can I touch you here? What's appropriate? This is education right here. This is education. This is educational video kind of scenario here where I'm trying to just kind of give you kind of some scenarios. What's appropriate? I know. Let me tell you like this. You're not going to touch my wife. You know what I mean? Let me give you 1 second, you guys. Speaking of my wife, right? She's probably calling me right now. Let me do this. I gotta turn this off. Sorry about that. So I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I was saying, how are you gonna, what if that's a married woman? Do I want this brother, sexual goddess? Where is safe for him to touch Brad? Let him do what he's doing because she's doing tantra. Do I be like, hey brother, don't go too far? What's appropriate? What's appropriate? What if they're having a private session? Hold on, you guys. I know I sent you something that said I'm on a show. And you called me anyway. Oh, shame. All right. Sorry about that. So, not my wife. You're not gonna touch and feel and in the name of sexual God and sexual goddess prowess tantra. I may not be comfortable with that. And what are you gonna do? Convince me like, oh no, brother, you're insecure. No, man, I don't want no creep touching my wife. Brother, I don't want no man touching my wife, period. That's my wife. Unbelievable. I couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So all kinds of things, man. You gotta just watch out for the Neotantra. You gotta watch anything when it just says Neo in front of it, right? Because that means it's a Western interpretation of something Eastern. And here's another thing, man. They got all these sexologists popping up and these people saying, they're Tantra and they're this and they're that and blah, 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 blah. What about the lack of qualified guidance? Neo-Tantra is often practiced without the guidance of a qualified teacher. Let's be real. Anybody can pop up and be like, I'm a Tantra guru. Anybody could put on a Kofi and says, man, hey, man, I'm spiritual. I'm your spiritual guide. Eat right, live right, be holy, and come to this sexual class, and we can teach you how to be the sex god, and you can have all these orgasms and release and get healed from all this trauma. How do we know that's a qualified teacher, which can lead to misunderstandings and potentially harmful practices? Traditional Tantra often requires years of study under knowledgeable guru. Where is the guru in the Neo-Tantra? Where's the guru at? Where's the master teacher? Where's someone we know who has years and years and years and years of training? Where's someone who where's someone who's been to class on this, who got to study, who got a certificate, and is in an accredited school? Where's the school of Tantra? And why isn't it accredited? So everybody knows, hey man, this is the right way of doing it. This is the right way with the proper intent. We got all these spin-offs, right? All these is Tantra, and now we got a new denomination called Neo-Tantra or Western Tantra. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. The intent. Now y'all bear with me. We're going to play some more videos here. Play a few more videos, and then we'll get right back to it. Oh, there goes our brother Walt D. We'll play a quick video and then we'll get back and we'll have a little discussion with our brother Walt D.
Great yet simple question. Tantra means to weave. Original scriptures of Tantra, it's about so much more than what we know it as today and what we're teaching. However, with our partners, it's about really becoming one. It's about getting out of our heads. It's so much more common than you think for people to be in their heads thinking of grocery lists. Is this person enjoying it? What are they thinking about? It's about getting rid of that, letting our walls down, being vulnerable, coming into our bodies and enjoying and feeling every sensation.
Okay, that's Tantra, y'all. It's Tantra. So we got Walt D in the house. Walt D, are you back, man? Are you in or are you out?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to see why it's so hard to hear you.
Can you hear me or no? You can't hear me?
Yeah, but it's like real light. But
let me see. Let me just make sure. All I gotta do the check on the YouTube to make sure that I haven't been talking soft, because I could be talking soft, and
I don't know if that's me or.
I'll tell you right now. Let me check the YouTube real quick. I'll check the YouTube right now. It'll tell me. So what's going on? Check the YouTube right now. It'll tell me. Okay. So what's going on? No. I can hear myself. I'm pretty loud. I think the people can hear me. I think it's on your end there. You want to try to come out and come back in, or you think
Yeah,
it's
I'll try to come out and come back in.
okay? All right.
All
So
right.
OD's gonna come out and come back in, man. And I just want to just keep hitting y'all with some of the pitfalls and the downfalls of this tantra, man. You gotta just, the lack of qualified guidance, man. Understand anybody can put on a turban and say they're your spiritual guide, there's your spiritual teacher, and they're gonna tell you, and they got the healing power, and you're gonna be this sexual god and sexual goddess, and you're gonna be able to, orgasms is the way. So, we got Christianity where it says Jesus is the way. And then we got this Neo-Tantra that says orgasms, sexual prowess and sexual orgasms are the way, right? So in looking at that, right? You gotta understand this too, right? The misunderstanding of goddess worship. I noticed in the community, something with the Black community, man. We like to be like, "What's up, king? What's up, queen? Everybody kings, everybody's queens. Peace, God, peace, goddess. Everybody's gods and goddesses, man." The misunderstanding of goddess worship. The concept of goddess worship in Tantra is profound, symbolizing the reverence for the divine feminine energy within and around us. However, in Neo-Tantra, the concept can be misunderstood or oversimplified, leading to the practices that may not fully respect or understand the depth of this tradition, leading to goddess worship. Putting the woman on a pedestal. And that's where you have these practices and these views on these levels of masculinity. Now there's levels to masculinity, right? There's levels. There's the divine masculine, and they call them different names. And it's kind of like they have these. It's kind of like how do you say? These levels are kind of like astrology signs, for lack of a better word. And certain people possess these certain characteristics, so they fit into this category. And they're still masculine, but they're a different type of masculine. They're more of a beta masculine or alpha masculine, or there's these different levels. Just trust me on this, in this Neo-Tantra. And then they have this divine feminine, these different levels in the women as well, in the feminine. And what I have a problem with is the seated hawk. I'm going to just let the cat out the bag. Seated hawks don't like me. They won't like me, right? Because I'm not going to let them be a seated hawk. I'm not going to acknowledge them as an alpha female. I'm not going to do it. So we got Walt D back, man. I see he got his computer up and working, man. How am I sounding, brother? Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you now. StreamYard is getting on my nerves.
Man, we're gonna fix it, man. We're gonna fix it, man. I'm not able to stream on your Facebook. We gotta re-input your stuff back in to get you popped up. That might be part of the reason too. But
all right.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about some of the matter of fact, hold on. Before we do this, I just want to catch you up real quick. We're gonna take a small break. I don't know how much Walt has been watching the show, but I'm gonna play this quick video. It's about 2 minutes, 21 seconds that Walt may have missed. Just kind of give him a run through where we're at. I know we kind of tried to do it yesterday, but we're really gonna have the conversation today. So let me play this quick video. While I'm doing that, if you're entering the room for the first time, if you're watching this video on the rewatch, this is the perfect time for you, right? To stretch just a little bit. Watch the video, but hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the content, and it's that time. And man, hey, we are a monetized channel, so super chats and thanks and all that stuff, and cash apps. You see their cash app rolling down there. We appreciate that. Also, if you just want to send us anything through Gmail or social media, hit us up. We're on IG, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook. We're on, we're on Twitter. Check us out. So play this quick video, then we're going to have the conversation.
Welcome to our video, Unveiling the Mysteries, Tantra versus Neotantra Explained. Today, we will be diving into the world of Tantra and Neotantra, shedding light on the differences between these two ancient practices. Tantra, originating in ancient India, is a spiritual practice that embraces sexuality as a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. It combines sexual energy, meditation, and devotion to achieve a higher state of consciousness. On the other hand, Neotantra, also known as Western Tantra, emerged in the modern age. It focuses more on personal growth, intimacy, and sensuality, often incorporating elements from various spiritual traditions. In Tantra, sexual energy is seen as a powerful force that can be harnessed and directed towards spiritual awakening. It involves deep connection and presence, utilizing rituals, breathwork, and meditation to expand consciousness and foster intimacy. In contrast, Neotantra places greater emphasis on personal pleasure, sensual experiences, and emotional healing. It seeks to create a sacred space for individuals to explore their desires, enhance intimacy, and develop a heightened awareness of their own and their partner's bodies. While Tantra has roots in ancient traditions and sacred texts, Neotantra has been heavily influenced by modern philosophies, psychology, and therapeutic practices. Both Tantra and Neotantra share common goals such as self-discovery, personal growth, and deepening connections. However, the approaches and methods they employ differ due to their unique contexts and cultural adaptations. Some critics argue that Neotantra has diluted the essence of traditional Tantra, focusing more on pleasure and individual desires than on its original spiritual and transformative purpose. In conclusion, while Tantra and Neotantra differ in their origins and approaches, they both offer valuable tools for personal growth, intimacy, and spiritual exploration. Whether you resonate with the ancient wisdom of Tantra or the modern adaptations of Neotantra, these practices can guide you on a path of self-discovery and connection. Thank you for watching our video on Unveiling the Mysteries, Tantra versus Neotantra Explained. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos.
That's right, hit that like and subscribe button. So welcome to part 2 of our deep dive into Tantra and Neotantra, right? In this episode, we continue our exploration of these ancient and modern spiritual practices, examining their origins, their differences, and their similarities. We're here to discuss the empowering aspect of these practices for men and women and how they foster a deeper understanding of self and relationships. We'll also delve into the concepts of goddess worship in Tantra, exploring how this reverence for the divine feminine shapes the practice and its goals. And we're here to discuss the potential pitfalls of Neo-Tantra, emphasizing the importance of discernment and alignment with personal values. When dealing with this religion, we're dealing with especially the Neo-Tantra form. So, Walt, man, what do you think about what's going on, man? I mean, we tried to do this yesterday. We're gonna do it today, man. I think we got the time. Let's have the conversation and let's discuss, man. I've been kind of breaking it down, going through just kind of hitting more of the bullet points and less of the backstory, because we know it's an ancient religion anyway. But man, what do you think about Tantra and Neo-Tantra?
Yeah, I really like what the video said, but one thing that the video did not mention is that one of the differences is that the results are different. If you look at the traditional life of the person who practices the original Tantra, their life is intact. Their life is calm. Their life is peaceful because they're doing it right. If you look at the people that are practicing modern Tantra or the Neo-Tantra that you said, they're pretty much
Westernized.
When you look at them on social media, on the social media feed, they're pretty much mentally unstable and trying to get it together, as opposed to people that have it together doing the regular Tantra. It's like the similarities between the traditional woman and the modern woman. You get what I'm saying? The traditional woman who does it right, who does it from her ancestors, she's having a positive life. She's getting married.
The reason why Neo Tantra I think is popular is because it offers a quick fix, right? Just have an orgasm and you'll be peaceful.
Like a drug.
Let's get to this orgasm because this is how you get closer to God.
Yep.
Let's get to this orgasm because it is a drug because it makes you feel good. It's like giving sugar to children. It is a drug. So, I was saying earlier that, you wouldn't introduce Neo Tantra to children, would you? You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what's going on. Neo Tantra is being introduced to grown children. And now they're taking it and turning it into something that it's not supposed to be.
Well, actually, if you really think about it, the LGBT has adopted the Neo Tantra. A lot of people that are part of LGBT are part of Neo Tantra, and they are exposing it to children. They're exposing it to excuse me. They're exposing it to children in the form of sexual liberation.
Yeah.
And they're exposing it to children as young as elementary school about sexual liberation. Like, you have teachers now. I have teacher friends who have stories, elementary school teacher friends that have stories of sexual encounters that they had to break up among elementary school kids. And some of the counselors were getting mad at the way the teachers was handling it, saying that, oh, they're just exploring their sexual liberation.
These are children.
And this is with
These
children.
are bodies that are not even developed. And you're talking about sexual liberation to them without understanding and the enlightenment and the teaching that goes with that? Really? Something, and most likely probably doing it against the parents' will? The alignment of the family, the structure, does that even matter anymore? See, that's what I'm saying. America is susceptible to these neo teachings. America is susceptible to these cons, right? These quicker picker-uppers, right? These quick fixes. We live in this microwave society, this microwave world that says we gotta have it now. I need to be healed today. Mental health, forget going through the steps to get to a better place. No, we just want to get straight to the orgasm and the peace, and I'm healed. No, there's steps. Tantra has steps. Okay. A lot of these Eastern cultures, man, you can't just be you gotta go through years. Look at karate. You can't just be a white belt and say, man, I'm a master. You get your butt kicked. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of this stuff is practical theory, because then you got to go out and actually practice it, and you still can get your butt kicked. Because we're not doing kata. We're really fighting now. We're really sparring now, and it can get different. It can, these mixed, you might run into a dude that he may not be as trained, but guess what? He got his reflexes is quicker, and he's athletic, and he can take a punch, and he can connect to you. You see what I'm saying? There's all kind of real world applications that we got to understand that follows with these tantra spirit principles and spiritualism. Like I said, if Tantra is about connecting with God on every level, I'm for it. But don't try to pigeonhole me into just one thing and say that's the only way. Or make the most gratifying way, the drug that you said, the selling mechanism tool that you get me to come in.
Yeah, that, or don't try to act like you're more enlightened than you already are, just because you watch 2 YouTube videos in prayer and think that now all of a sudden you got it.
There you go. So let me ask you this, man. What do you think about this, the goddess worship that's come down that Tantra community? What do you think about the worship of the woman, the elevating of the woman? And what do you think? I don't know if you got any time doing a study on the seated hawk, the alpha female, supposed to just be like the queen bee, and the men are like her worker bees. Isn't that like matriarchal?
Well, here's the thing. Here's a common thing among every religious group or whatever that tries to grow. They have to get the women first. They have to get the minds of the women first. Why? Because the men are usually out there working. The men are usually like not paying attention to those type of things. So they're like, hey, we got to appeal to the women first because the women are going to be the ones that's either home or in their spare time trying to get connected with something. So we're going to get them first. And so, I mean, everybody did it in all religions. Uh, T.D. Jakes did it. Remember, I mean, I like the way T.D. Jakes is preaching now, but when he first started preaching, he was doing the woman thou art loose and everything.
Man, remember the emotions? Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
brother.
all that.
I
And
read that book, man. I read that book, man. I was going through that, and I had some issues with it, but I was like, this is T.D. Jakes. And then, I went to one of his things, and he was like, 99 blessings for 19.99, and if you send me $99, God. And when he started preaching like that, I said, that's the con. And here's the problem: a lot of these preachers go through this before they come out clean,
yeah,
or changed, or they realize that they were brought into it the wrong way, so they weren't sincere in the beginning, but they become sincere later. Or it's the opposite: they start out sincere and then they become tarnished. And that's bringing it back to this neo-tantra. Some of you guys are looking for something. A lot of this new age and new age stuff, you're looking for something. You're looking for something more than the traditional. You're looking for something a more deeper and spiritual connection, right? You're looking for something different than what you already seen or heard, but you get wrapped up and you get into these cults. If you stay in these cults long enough and you realize, man, this is just a sex cult. This is just, this was a big waste of time.
but what do cults do? Cults do the same thing. They gotta appeal to the women first.
Always. And what did the devil do? What did the serpent do? He appealed to the woman first to get to the man.
Yes.
It's always that way. How do you take down a strong city? Get to the women. How do you defeat a nation? We're about to find out real soon, right? Manipulate the women and turn the women against the men. Make them think they're have the government protect them. But here's the thing. Let me say this, and this is not to get off point, but for all the modern women, right, that are sassy and have bad attitudes and practice debauchery and twerking, can you do that overseas? Did you hear what's going on in Gambia right now?
What's going on?
Our sisters are being what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use the word on YouTube. They're being deleted.
Wow.
They're going out there, and the men out there are deleting them. The men in Gambia.
Wow.
These sisters are going over there, and they're moving over there, and they're getting married over there, and they're trying to bring that American culture with them, that sassy mouth with them.
Wow.
And they don't play that over there. So that's what I'm trying to say. You women, modern women, should not be traveling alone to any country.
Yeah.
It's not safe. It's not safe to move around on the earth without a man. You can do that in the U.S., but not overseas. Just don't do it. Don't think you can do it. Just because men can do it, don't think you can do it. Our sisters are going over there, bringing that American culture and that thing over there, and it's not receptive. They're not going to play that. There's no daddy government to save you and allow you to. There's no police you can call that's going to rescue you in that culture.
Well, the problem. Well, it happens over here too. See, the problem is, with any religion, anything that's going on or going overseas, women don't. A lot of women that I run into, they don't understand the rules of engagement like how a man understands the rules of engagement. And I'll give you an example. Like I'm trying not to get too much off topic, but just
we'll get to this and then we'll move right back into it. But it's kind of on top, but it's off topic too.
Yeah, like the boy who shot that loser man that hit his mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that man was that man was a loser. You know, you don't hit nobody's mama like that, right? But at the same time, the mother, she was bad too by putting her son in that position because she probably knew her son had that gun. You know what I mean? But she didn't understand the rules of engagement. Like, if a man turns to one of us and says, "Hey, if you say another word, I'm gonna punch you," what are we gonna do? We either gonna get ready to fight or we're gonna walk away. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand the rules of engagement.
We understand that, hey, this brother is serious and we either don't want to get beat up right now, or we like, man, we want all the smoke.
Are we gonna kick a hole in your head, right?
Yeah.
But the mother just kept on running her mouth with neither of those on her mind.
No wisdom to be like, you know what? Let me just be quiet. Let me just, this man may be in the wrong, or I may be in the wrong, or whatever. It doesn't matter, but it's about to get real here. So let me just be quiet. But instead of doing that, because they believe in daddy government, right? Because they believe in the police, right? And because, hey, she got a son, because she had another man there to protect her. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to get you, that. Let me tell you something. A real man, like if she had a covering, he would have stepped in and handled that already. And there would not have, that guy would not have died. Even though he was a loser, right. He would not have paid, because the man, her covering, would have stepped in and said, listen, this is how we're going to handle this. And that man would have understood. He either would have backed down or it would have got real. And them two, whoever won, that's it. Yeah. It would have been handled just like that. But it got escalated because you have a woman in the wrong place talking to a man. Now, we own that subject, but let's get back to this Tantra, because it's kind of the same thing.
Those are the women they want. Those are the women that they control.
Oh, yeah. We have women that are getting, we have these seated hawks, these goddesses in the Tantra community that people are putting on pedestals. And they're moving around like the queen bee, and all men are just resources and workers here to please her sexual prowess, and, they're having polygamous relationship, but the wrong way. Polygamy is never been open on the woman's side. Let me just say that. It's never been. And it should never be. And there's reasons behind that. Not because men just want it. No. Even though it seems like that. But there's rules of engagement. There's rules to this. There is actually an instruction manual that comes with the relationship structure and the family dynamics. So you open it up on the woman's end, and what you got there is just a husband, not a wife. Because now you have other men dominating your woman. And then you're going to run the risk of pillow talking, whispering secrets, and it gets bad. There's been polygamous relationships where both men, they forgot to communicate, they forgot the rules, and it got bad. I'm going to say it like that. And breaking up something like that, it's bad. I mean, think about having children in this mess that you just started. So, got to be careful of this neo tantra. Let me just say this. We talked about. I asked you about the goddess worship and how it comes in stems from control. But let's talk about the commodification of spirituality, right? There's a risk of neo-tantra becoming commercialized or commodified, with spiritual practices being sold as products or experiences without proper understanding or respect for the culture and spiritual significance. Can we talk about that?
Well, yeah, of course it's going to be commercialized, because it's part of the,
I'm looking at it.
It's part of the LGBTQ, and the reason why is because the LGBTQ and the government loves things that doesn't produce produced the nuclear family. If you look at it, the original Tantra, the traditional Tantra, it helps grows families.
Man and
And
woman.
it helps grows families and sexual relations. The Neo Tantra, it just makes, uh, it's just for pleasure.
That's it.
And even if they're saying, "Oh, well, you're connected with somebody at a high level," but even as high as level you might be connected with them, you're not connected with them on a nuclear family level.
I mean, like this. Who are you connecting with? I mean, if you're in a room and or if there's the tantra teacher over you doing the tantra, are you connecting with the tantra teacher? Aren't you supposed to be connecting with your man, your
Exactly.
husband, your wife? Aren't you guys supposed to be doing the meditation and the breathing rituals and the synchronization of movements and the staring into each other's eyes and becoming one? This Neo Tantra is sexual liberation on drugs, steroids. It's the do as thy wilt mentality. Talk about that, Walt. We didn't touch on that. It's the do as thy wilt mentality.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no religion or any guideline to anything just let you do whatever you want. Like that's why they call these things martial arts, everything. That's why they call them disciplines, because you got to be able to sacrifice something. You know, be able to be disciplined in something in order to be fulfilled by what you believe in. The tantra doesn't really have discipline like that. It's just do as thou wilt. And if you look at do as thou wilt, like do whatever you want to do, that more of a line with the teachings of Satanism. That's
Uh-oh.
exactly what Satanism says, do as thou wilt. That's the only
Alchemy
other
Carla.
that's the only other religious practice that I could think of that says do as thou wilt is Satanism. Even Buddhism, that's really free and lets you be free and do whatever you want. Even Buddhism has certain practices that you need to do, or certain um, guidelines that you have to do unto your neighbor and to whatever.
Think about all the religious dogma.
Yeah, the dogmas, the stances, the everything has some type of discipline, some type of form to it. Uh, neo, the neoism part of this does not have form. It does not have tradition. It's just arbitrary vibrations. Oh,
Right.
just get on the vibration pattern, get on this, get on that. Okay, how? What vibrations? What is this fulfilling in me and my partner? Is it just is it promiscuity vibrations, or is it husband and wife vibrations?
Right.
Like it's two different things. They're just like, oh, get you on sexual vibrations, but there's different sexual vibrations for people just linking up, and different sexual vibrations for a husband and wife.
Right. Right. And man, let's be real. The potential for psychological harm without proper guiding and understanding of the intense practices can potentially lead to a lot of psychological distress or harm, man. There's a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of people, because they don't have the understanding behind it. It's gonna, they're already broken. So think about that. Think about these people coming out of nowhere practicing this, talking about, man, I'm a sexologist with no degree. Sexologist trained in what school? See, let me tell you something. It goes back to what tree do you belong to? What fruit are you? We don't know what fruit this tantra sexologist comes from, because we don't know who his teacher was, and if he did have a teacher, how did we know his teacher was actually practicing tantra in the proper intent and taught it in its natural, pure form?
You know
What,
how
we,
we
what
know?
we're finding is these con men are getting hold of this religion, and they're changing it, and they're making it into this sex cult thing. And so, oh man, how can we get educated and just normal people to come into this. Well, we have to appeal to this this sexual orgasm, which is everybody's curious about sex, right? And then we have to package it in a way to where we can control them and put them under this matriarchic trance. And then this pimp just comes in and pimps everybody, pimps the women and the men. That's how I see it.
Yeah, we know. We're like, how do we know? We know it by its fruits because, like I said before, it's producing. What is it actually producing in somebody's life? If you look at the traditional tantra, it's actually producing the nuclear family. If you look at the neo tantra, it's not producing.
There's no gurus.
I challenge anyone to do this. I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody or not, but I challenge you, Max, anybody. Go on your Facebook or Instagram timeline. Look at anybody that's talking about neo-tantra. Neo-tantra, not tantra, sorry. Neo-tantra. Then look at their life.
Do you want their life?
Most of the people that you see, if not 90% of the people that you see practicing neo-tantra, is a basket case in some type of way. They have something going on crazy in their life, or they already had something crazy and now they're trying to get it together and they just can't get it together, and they keep on saying a whole bunch of inspirational quotes or tantra type quotes just because they failed to do the right thing in life. Like, I dare you to look most of the people that practice that on my timeline, I go look at their life and it's in shambles.
I'm just like this. If you're broke, that's enough for me. I don't want that. I don't want that. If you're broke, I don't want to follow you. Right. I mean, that's just enough for me. I don't go any further than that. They just look at it as broke. Because my thing is this: if you really got something, the rich want it. If you really got something, I mean, come on. I mean, let's keep it at that.
Why is there a lot of them that is broke though?
Broke, man. Broke, and they all look like they smoke. They all look like they're like earthy and smoke weed. They all look like they're just like, yeah, man, peace. It's hippies. It's hippieism.
Nah, I did
Tantra and hippieism.
Ask me for money though, bro.
Peace, love, and prosper, man. Cool, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you have to feel the tantric waves, man. When you put this towel on your head, you look like a guru, and you gotta feel the tantric waves, man. The women love it, man. They dig it, man. You want to get women join this tantra, man? You'll be this god, man. It's hippieism, man. It's free love. It's debauchery, man. It's Babylon. It's the scorch of the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's Sodom and Gomorrah, man. It's the ushering of that. And it's the future of America if you don't get yourself together. It's the future of America. You're going to be stuck in these polygamous, tantric, nonsensical relationships that lead to nowhere. And nobody's going to get married. Nobody's going to have family. Nobody's going to have fathers. And everybody's going to be effeminate and overly masculine, hyper masculine. It's just going to be terrible. It's the implosion of America. And this is just one of those things that I don't feel that is necessarily a good thing because of so much bad that comes with it. Or that could be things so many things that could be teaching it. Things like tantra needs to be handled with care. That's all I'm gonna say. Things like tantra need to be handled with care and of the highest sensitivity. And with the proper training and guidance of these, I guess, the spiritual leaders of the old that started this.
You know something else I thought of too?
Tell me that.
Is the people that practice traditional tantra, a lot of them are married or have some type of healthy relationship. The ones pushing neo tantra, I notice a lot of the guys are similar to Derek Jackson.
Simpin' ain't easy. Simpin' ain't easy.
It's a big contrast
to the women. Surrender to the women. Tell them what they want to hear. Yeah, man, you want to be Derek Jackson. You want to, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Jackson started taking a tantrum, man. That probably should be his. If I was Derek Jackson, that would be my next move. But damn, they're not gonna take care of my relationship right. But if I go into the Neo-Tantra way, I can get back into seducing the women under the guise that it's spirituality and not, I just want to have sex with you.
Yeah, because let me ask you, how many Neo-Tantra people do you know that's married?
I don't know any that's married personally.
I mean, I know some of the original Tantra that's married.
I mean, there might be one that's married, but see, are they married government, or are they just saying they're married?
Exactly.
I don't know. Are they in an open relationship or a polygamous relationship, and they're saying this is my wife and this is my baby mama and this is her husband and I'm her boyfriend? I mean, how are you in? I'm just saying it's kind of, the lines are blurred. I don't know what's going on here. Shoot. I mean, I might show up at one of those meetings and they might be like, "You want to practice Tantra on her?" And I'm like, "Huh? That's your wife?" I don't know. It might be a key thing. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll say it again. I'll tell you one thing. Ain't nobody touching my wife like that. Not when I'm around. That's all I'm gonna say. You can call me what you want. Oh, you're insecure. But you can say what you want to say. I'm here to protect that woman. That's my woman. That's my woman. You're not just gonna, you're not gonna pull the okie doke over my head while I'm around. I'm watching everything. I'm the guy that prays with his eyes open. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna let me close my eyes and I wake up and the food's gone. No. I'm watching you. Because I believe that, hey, if it's really God, it doesn't matter if my eyes are open or closed. Angel in the room or not. Let's get this party started. You feel me? But yeah, man, this whole thing about Tantra, man, I just wanted to make sure I hit that with you guys, man, and get us all on the proper page, and just something to bring awareness to the community and to the subscribers and the viewers, man, of the pitfalls. Look more into the original Tantra form because of the intent. The New Age Tantra, the Neo-Tantra, the intent is different. The intent is more focused on sexual prowess and sexual orgasmic power and healing. It's not based or rooted in the discipline and the understanding of what you have before you practice it. In fact, the sexual tantric part was actually, you had to be celibate for many, many years before you can get to the level where you can actually practice. That's how spiritual and high level this was. But when you come to the neo side of it, you come to the more modern side, the Western side of it, said, hey man, you can access the inner room right now. Why wait? Here, man, don't even respect the rituals and the people that came before you that had to work for this. Just come right to the front. Become a sexual god right now. Why wait 5-10 years like everybody else, man, when you can just do it in 1 hour? Come to this sex party. And afterwards, after we do the Tantra practice, we'll do the keychains. Just come on. We won't tell you that though. You got to come to the sex part first, or you got to come around a little bit more, and then we want to play with your booty hole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's kind of where it goes, because these, there is a chakra where it can release in your butt, as I've been told, and maybe I'm not mature enough to understand. No, it's not happening. We're not playing. Not in the name of Tantra, but in the Neo-Tantra, they do that. Just so you know, if you want that, they will give that to you. Okay, so yeah, man, this Tantra thing, this Neo-Tantra versus Neo-Tantra. What is your conclusion, Walter? Let's get to the conclusion. What is your conclusion? What do you think, with all the information and everything, Tantra versus Neo-Tantra? How do you sum it up? What's your conclusion?
I think it's just another spin-off religion of a traditional religion.
Another denomination.
Another denomination. Like, like how they have Jehovah's Witness and Mormonism, just like how when Malcolm X had to actually go out to Mecca and then really understand how Islam
The
was
religion,
versus
yeah.
American Islam. I think that's what a lot of people are going to realize. They're going to say, "Wait a minute, let me go out east and find out what Tantra is really about." And then they're like, "Dang, I was just getting pimped out over in America." After they stuff get loose, and after they little two holes get loose or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that they're gonna be like, wait a minute, this American version is like watered down, But in the same way, we find out in like Christianity, how Jehovah's Witness was formed by somebody that thought they could predict the incoming of Christ, and when they couldn't, they made their own religion. Man is always going to try to make their own thing apart from what God tries to put the path God tries to put down. Man is always going to try to make his own thing to control people.
Facts, facts. And I just look at it in my conclusion. I'm just saying, Neo-Tantra is something you need to be careful and watch out for. They don't necessarily call it Neo-Tantra. They might call it Tantra. And, you may not, they might call it Neo-Tantra later. So you might show up at these things thinking, if you hear sex parties and things like that, then you already know what you're getting into. That's the Neo-Tantra. That's not the Tantra. There's more discipline and training, and there's more traditions behind that than just what the modern Tantra gives you. But I will say this: the Neo-Tantra is appealing to this American audience and this Western world. It offers something higher than a yoga and higher than, because it gives you that. It's not just that abstaining from and now my mind is clear. It's now my mind is clear, but I can get an orgasm, and it's a different euphoria. So this culture, especially the hookup culture that we're in today, is very much susceptible to this, and I actually see it getting stronger and intensifying, and we're headed in this direction. So why most Americans are going in this direction? Guess what direction I'm going in? The opposite.
The opposite.
I know the game. Don't follow the masses. Whatever the masses do, they're gonna get what the masses get. But if you don't want what the masses are getting, don't do what the masses are doing. Do the opposite.
Right. Word up.
That's where we're at, man. That's what I think about. That kind of sums up our topic on Tantra versus Neo-Tantra. Man, Walt, man, thank you for blessing us, man. Thank you for coming down, man, talking with us, man, and shedding some insight, man. And feels good to have you back on the show, brother. Missed you, man.
Thanks for having me. Excuse all the weird crap that's been going on for the last 2 days. I can't explain it, but God is good, and
God is good.
Hopefully somebody was blessed.
Exactly. I think we did. I think this was a good one, man. I think we blessed a lot of people. I think the people that do watch this, you guys probably thought it was the same show, but this is actually a part 2. I'll actually update the thumbnail later. But thank you guys for watching, man. Thank you guys for checking out the show. You know how it is, man. This is the Too Much Moxie podcast, and we are out. Peace.